Hi, it's Steve Torso here. I'm the founder and managing director of Wholesale Investor. In this video, I just want to go through my thoughts on what the outlook, I suppose, from a capital raising perspective would be for 2021. It's the number one question that I'm being asked at the moment as far as how do I think that 2021 will play out. So look, just to give you a high level guidance on what we're thinking and what we're expecting, is we're encouraging all our clients and we're encouraging the companies that we speak to raise as much capital as they possibly can in the first 6 months of this year. Now, the reason for that is if you actually look at the way the markets are going at the moment, the markets are really sort of breaking through record highs. I said they're definitely, it's red hot at the moment. It's the easiest way to say it. The IPO market is also going through the roof. When you see a lot of companies, when they're going through their IPO, often they're 5 times oversubscribed. And on the day that they list, they're going anywhere up between 50 to 100% in that first day. That is a good sign that a market is getting, quite to the point where it's overheated. Now, also you'll note in the US, they've obviously just announced some more stimulus, and you'll know that in Australia that the stimulus is sort of in that pullback mode. So what that means is that stimulus is going to be in the economy for the next few months. But we're really just highlighting to people that when you've got record low interest rates like you have now, when you have a stock market that's as hot as what it is, when you have an IPO market which is as hot as what it is, at some stage, it cannot keep going like that. At some stage, that bubble has to burst. And from our perspective, we're giving that guidance to raise as much money in the first 6 months of this year because you really don't know what can happen in the follow-on 6 months. And then more than that, to understand that I'm not just talking about the 6 months. For all we know, the markets could have a lot of challenges for the next sort of 12, 18, 24 months because let's face it, right now there's record unemployment across many parts around the world. COVID is still a massive impact where you're having sort of anywhere between 600 to 800,000 cases per day. And whilst there's lots of, there's some enthusiasm around a vaccine, I know from Australia's experience that we couldn't get 70% of people to download an app, let alone to convince them to have a vaccine. So that's still going to be a predominant issue. So global travel is still going to be difficult. So really from an investor and from a company perspective, it's just getting super comfortable with the idea that you will be raising capital virtually and online really for the next sort of 12 to 24 months. But more than that, the reason it's important to raise as much capital now is because when that bubble does burst, there will be some lag and there'll still be capital in the system, but then there'll be a period where it'll be quite difficult for companies from a capital raising perspective. So you've just got to know this in advance and you've got to plan for it. Because I know some people may be sitting there thinking, I'm going to look to raise capital at the end of this year. No, start your process now. Right? Because you don't want to be left out in the lurch when you say, I've finally got everything ready we're going to raise, but then the market just doesn't want to hear it because they're actually worried about what's sort of coming next. So this next 6 months is the absolute prime time from a capital raising that I have seen for companies to move forward with. And we see it in the investor interest on the platform. We see it in the deals that are getting done. So for you as a founder, I would say just take this opportunity right now to start setting the foundations. So if you are thinking about raising capital in the next 12, 18, 24 months, you now have to speed up that timeline to raise capital in the next 6 months. Hope this video has been helpful and all the best for 2021.